Today, I'm working on this Craftsman 10-inch miter saw. This was a scrapyard pick from last year. When I got it, everything was locked on it. I was able to free it up, and I used it a couple of times. Yesterday, I was using it, and the trigger was always an issue with this, where you would have to hold it just right for it to run. Sometimes it'll come on, sometimes it won't. This usually comes on if you hold the handle and twist it. Yesterday I was in the middle of a project and it went out. So it's way past the time to work on this trigger, either to replace it or to see if I could repair it. I'm going to start with taking these screws out on the side. I don't have a diagram on this, so I'm just winging it as I go along. I'm going to disassemble this and show you what I have when I get back. Okay, just to point out a few things. When I took these screws out, I made sure they were all the same size, so it wouldn't be guesswork when I had to put this together. They're all together in the can now. If you're taking your handle apart, you may want to take a photo of it, or do a little sketch on how the wires go and how the string goes on. Sketch doesn't have to be a work of art as long as you can read it. But when I check this and the cord, there's current. When I check the hot line, it's black wire coming in, there's current. When I check any other one, there's no current. The black wire coming in, you have continuity from the black wire prong, and you have continuity from the blue wire to the prong. So our wire is okay. When I check from this tab to this tab here, this would bring power to the motor. There's no continuity when I pull the switch. So it's definitely in the switch. I'm going to take the switch off. I'm going to see if I can get into it. I don't think I can just by looking at this. It looks like there's two rivets here. Looks like I'm going to have to replace the switch. I may have this from another piece of equipment. I don't know. I have to see. And when I get this apart, I'll be back to show you what I find at that point. Well, this is what happens when you rush it. I tried getting these two little rivets out. I thought I drilled it enough and I just tapped it. I didn't think I tapped it that hard, but evidently it was hard enough and this all shattered. Not sure which way I'm going to go with this now. When I figure it out, I'll be back. I want to see if this will work. This is a dryer I picked up a while back. All it needed was a belt. People were getting rid of it because they bought a new dryer. I was going to put a belt on it and try flipping it, but then online everybody was giving dryers away, so I just kind of like left it out here in the boneyard with the mowers that I have. But what I'm thinking is that when you open and close this door, there's a switch over here. Now this switch, when you close your dryer door, the dryer will run. When you open the dryer door, the dryer will shut off. I'm going to take this apart and see if I can utilize this switch inside of that saw. I'm going to get some tools, get back out here. We'll see what it looks like. And if it works, well, you'll see it. Well, this was the plan. I pulled the switch out of the dryer, and I don't know if you could read this here, but it's a 3rd horsepower. It's rated for 120 to 240 amps. So the rating on the switch was okay. The ends were different. That wasn't a problem. Biggest problem was the way it works. The switch that belongs to this gets pushed up. This one goes back and forth. So I looked at the handle and I figured a way to cut through the handle, cut a little bit of this off. So when you when you push up on the original handle, it would push the switch up and get the saw running. This little tab is in the way. This has to be ground off, and this has to be ground off over here. And a little modification on the handle itself. It's going well. And in my haste, I don't know what I did, but I crossed some wires, and now I have an epic fail. And again, the reason for this switch, when you go online to buy it, it's discontinued. And the reason for using this switch is because when you go online, the original switch is discontinued. Let me show you. Now to the epic fail. I took this motor apart just to see what it was all about in here. I'm not too experienced on electric motors, but when I crossed those wires, I did something when it was plugged in. I was testing the wires, making sure that this was running okay, and it was running fine. And something happened when I was moving around on the bench. Flames came out of here. And what seemed to burn was down in here. I pulled this, see this? I pulled this out right down in here on this other side. Here we go. It looks like the coating over here burnt, and when this burnt, it burnt the connection on the inside of this. I don't know if it could be reconnected or not. Like I said, I'm not that familiar with electric motors, and somebody that knows a little electricity probably could put this winding back together. And it's a shame because the brushes were okay on this. Well, they were worn, but brushes you could replace on these. The brushes are about $5, $6 each. When I went online, you could still get them. These are a little worn. They still had life to them. Everything else on the commutator looked okay. Bearings were fine on it. No problem with any of the bearings, front one or back one. So everything on this side was okay. I just blew it. Like I said, I had the wires connected. I had an extension cord with the end cut off, and I was testing the motor, and the motor was running. And I don't know what happened. Maybe when I moved, it shifted, it crossed. I really don't know what happened. I just saw flame. I heard there was a spark in front of me. I looked, and flames were coming out of it. It didn't burn long. As you can see, there wasn't that much to burn in here. Gave me a little bit of a jolt. Now, look at this over a little closer. I noticed a chip over here. And it's the only one, no, there's a chip over here. And a chip over here. This happened the other night. And I'm wondering, instead of crossing the wires, maybe when I put this back together, something fell in there, a little washer or something. And when it got caught up, this motor couldn't spin. That caused it to overheat and burn. Why didn't it pop a breaker, I don't know. But, well, it was either this or I crossed the wire. This is fresh. See how shiny this is? So this might have been the cause here. Either way, this turned out to be a failure of a project. We're always showing the good ones. Well, this is one of the bad ones. But the takeaway from this is you can use a switch. So if you have one of these motors, if you have one of these saws and you can't get the switch, look around. You can substitute some kind of switch. Maybe with another piece of equipment, or you could buy a switch online for another small appliance that you might be able to make it work. That's about it. I'm not going to spend any more time on this right now. If I come across another one, maybe I could pick up a motor for it. But the switches, they no longer sell. This machine is kind of obsolete. But again, if you do need a switch, you're able to get that off of an electric dryer. So the switch can be modified if you want to spend a little time. Do not cross your wires. And if you found this video useful, helpful, or maybe even entertaining, let me know by posting your comments down below. Give it a like, it does help. And until next time, stay safe and stay well.